cancer babes and friends. It's been a while since I've done an update or a video, and today actually I'm just going to do a video. It's not really an update. It's just something that's been on my mind since I've been talking to a lot of breast cancer patients and other survivors on breast cancer boards that I'm on Facebook and support groups, and I'm just finding a common theme that I actually want to address. It's the theme of how to feel like your old self when you're going through chemotherapy and when you're done with treatment, because everyone talks about this new norm and having to get used to looking like someone that doesn't look like your old self. And I just want to talk about some things that I've done or that I did during chemotherapy and things that have helped me to feel like the old Cherie. Because it is actually really hard, and I want you to know you're not alone. So many people who are going through treatments feel the exact same way. And it was so wonderful. I had a friend in my office the other day talking about she's going through treatments and talking about how depressed she was by how she looks, her hair, her nails, her toenails, like just what cancer has done to her body. And I just sat and told her, I know what you're feeling. I know what you're going through. And there are so many people who do. So you're not alone. And that's one thing I hope you all know. First and foremost, I'd say if you've been diagnosed with cancer of any form, try to keep your life as normal as possible. Try to keep it like the life you had before your diagnosis. And for me, that meant getting up and going to work every day. Luckily, I was healthy enough that I did not have to take a sabbatical from work. And I think most people usually are. And if that's you, even though you'll have the days where you don't want to get out of bed, as long as health permits and like you don't need to stay in bed, because sometimes obviously you have to listen to your body, get out of bed, get to work, put your makeup on, take care of yourself. I am a firm believer in exercise. I've actually always been a morning exerciser, and when I was diagnosed, I was like, I'm going to continue my exercise program. And I was not able to do it with the same intensity. Obviously, when you're not eating for 10 days, it makes it very difficult to go work out for an hour and a half, or go ride your bike 30 miles. However, I was able to do a lot. And there were some days, especially right after treatments, I was only able to just go for a walk for half an hour. But even that gave me the semblance of my old life and made me feel like old Cherie. So I would suggest get up every day, go to work, exercise, take care of yourself. And the other thing I would say about appearance. Now, first off, please know that I believe beauty is on the inside, that it doesn't matter what you look like. Heck, we all walked around with bald heads, right? And we didn't care, and it didn't matter. However, I do know that you feel better. I feel better when I take care of myself and when I look my best and when I like what I see and when I like what I see in the mirror. So for me, that was getting my nails done, getting pedicures. Even while going through chemotherapy, there was no reason in my mind that I had to look like a cancer patient. Yes, I had a bald head, but I could still put my makeup on. I could still wear my fake eyelashes. I could paint on my eyebrows, and I've been doing that for years anyway because I have none. But I could do all these things that help me feel like old Cherie and not make me depressed that I didn't look like I used to. So I would suggest you continue whatever you'd currently do. As much as possible, try to maintain as much normalcy as you can. And I know it's hard on days where you don't feel good to put your makeup on, but I found that as I got out of bed and exercised, put my makeup on and went to work, it was almost like I forgot that I was going through chemotherapy. I mean, obviously I always had the nasty kitten taste in my mouth and I was nauseous and I didn't feel good. However, being amongst my friends and my vendors and my coworkers helped keep my life normal and sane. So anything you can do to make that happen, and I promise you'll be much happier. Another thing that I think we all can relate to as breast cancer patients, especially with all the hormone changes, especially after a double mastectomy and some of the chemotherapy drugs, is weight gain. I lost 25 pounds on chemo. And so for me, I didn't mind having a bald head because it looked good on my skinny face. But then when I got done with my surgeries and treatments, that 25 pounds came right back. And I am not gonna lie, I had a really hard time with that because I was like, oh man, not only do I have a bald head or short hair, now I have a fat face as opposed to what I felt like was my thin face. And I really struggled, as I know so many of you are struggling right now as well. And I want to say, oh, it's not that big of a deal, just get over it. I had a really hard time, but it helped me to look in the mirror and be grateful for what I did have. So I could spend the rest of my life, whatever, upset about the 10, 20 pounds I gained, or I could look in the mirror and say, you know what, but I have this that I like. And I look in the mirror and appreciate your smile, your cute nose, your button nose, your beautiful eyes, you know, what you do have. And not even that, even more, appreciate the fact that you can walk and talk, and everything that we have is a blessing, because it could all be taken from you tomorrow. And so you can spend forever obsessing about the fact that you have terrible hair. And what I did, because I struggled. I had long, pretty hair before I went through chemotherapy, and I was fine to shave it off. I didn't struggle with that, if I'm being honest. But man, once I was done with treatments, I wanted to look like my old self. I felt like Cancer Cherie was in the past, and now I want to be Cherie again. And I didn't look like who Cherie was to me. And I, you know, would wear my short hair, and I just felt really discouraged, if I'm being honest with you. And I hated it. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go buy a wig. Maybe that will help. And I went and I bought a bunch of wigs. I have like 5 now. I love them. It's the best thing I did. I love my wigs. I look in the mirror. I like what I see. I like that I look like my old self. I don't feel like a cancer patient. Well, I'm not a cancer patient anymore, but you know, it totally changed my feelings of low self, I don't want to say it's low self-worth, because I have good self-worth, but not liking what I saw in the mirror, not feeling like myself. It did wonders. So if you need to go buy a wig, or if you need to get your nails done, or if you need to paint your toenails, or put on a fresh coat of makeup, whatever you need to do. And once again, your beauty is from within, but I know as human beings, we feel better about ourselves when we take care of ourselves and we like what we see. So just know that you are not alone in feeling like, who is this person I'm looking at in the mirror anymore? I don't like it. It doesn't have to be that way. And yeah, maybe you have gained some weight from the hormonal changes and the struggles with, you know, all that you've been through. Be kind to yourself. Like, have some self-compassion. Would you talk to a child crying or anyone else crying about the way they look? No, you would comfort them. You would tell them how beautiful they are. You would say, you look great the way you are. Do that for yourself. And I know I had to practice that myself. You know, when I'd look in the mirror and be like, oh, I hate what I'm seeing. I don't like how I look. I'd be kind. I'd be like, but you're beautiful, and you do this and you do that. And I would try to just talk to myself and make myself feel better, like I would a little child crying on the street. And so those are my suggestions and tips that helped me during chemotherapy and after. And so I hope that somehow will help you. And I'm going to talk more about my post-mastectomy, being a year out almost, in another video, so stay tuned for that. And I hope that you're all doing wonderfully, and I'm just enjoying my summer and getting sunburned out on my bike and swimming and having a great time. So I hope you are too. And I'll talk to you later. Love ya. Bye.